The hot girl's head is pounding terribly. The firefighter lifts her eyelid.
Whoa. Oh, my.
One after another, unknown objects are being pulled out. Turns out, they are disposable contact lenses. The firefighters and the man beside her are almost stunned.
How many were in there?
More than a dozen.
Turns out, the girl often wears disposable contact lenses, but never takes them out, thinking they will just fall out on their own. The firefighter tells her not all the lenses had fallen out. In fact, a large number of them were still stuck in her eyes. When they didn't believe it, the doctor brought over saline solution and cotton swabs, and that's when the scene at the beginning happened. After the lenses were removed, the girl's headache miraculously disappeared.
Oh, I feel so foolish.
Oh, don't. The thing to remember, Mrs. Sullivan, about disposable lenses is to dispose of them.
I will.
All right, let's get her on.
Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Do not reach for that back! Do not touch me!
The woman can believe what happened. A few minutes ago, the woman was traveling with her kid. 2 cops stopped her, claiming her license plate was illegal and demanding to see her registration. The woman insisted she was a sovereign citizen, saying there was nothing wrong with her plate, and citing legal codes to back up her claim of exemption. The cop didn't listen and threatened to smash the window if she didn't get out. The woman started yelling and pulled out her phone to live stream, which only made the cop more angry. In the chaos, the cop pulled the trigger. The black female officer was stunned, rushing in to try and save the woman.
Okay, little pressure, but you're gonna be okay. Just keep looking up at me.
But the woman still died from her injuries. The female officer locked eyes with the cop. His troubles are just beginning. The intern was relieved the cut on the severed leg was clean and could be perfectly reattached. But in the next moment,
They're both left.
the chief exploded in anger, berating the intern. The intern searched the ambulance, but couldn't find the right leg. The paramedics told her because of the train derailment, there were many victims with severed heads and limbs. She could try her luck at the scene. Finally, the intern found the right leg, but when the chief saw it, he was livid.
Did you happen to notice, for example, that it was shaved recently and manicured? Take a look at my patient, Dr. Yang. Does he look like a man who woke up and shaved one of his legs this morning?
No. I'll go find the right leg.
Thank you.
After searching through the crash site, the intern still couldn't find the correct leg. However, when she returned to the operating room, she discovered the chief was already preparing to reattach it. It turned out the paramedic had delivered the right leg earlier, but her colleague hadn't informed her. After working tirelessly all day, the intern was furious, feeling like she had done all the legwork for her colleague. The only thing eased her frustration was that the patient made a full recovery. A car is hanging 40 meters up. The driver is stuck up there too. How did he get up there? Just now, the firefighters got the call. 2 women were trapped in the car by falling concrete blocks. One of them even lost consciousness. Huge rocks kept falling, and the car looked like it was about to fall too. The firefighters had to act fast to secure the car up high. They drove up to the roof, then checked on the driver's condition to rescue the driver. The firefighter jumped onto the car. He first smashed the back window, then jumped into the car to pull the driver out. Just as they jumped out, the car fell completely from the building. Luckily, the fire truck quickly moved the cars below, which stopped a tragedy from happening. Both women were sent to the hospital. A man tried to save money by digging a hole in a tree himself, instead of calling a professional, but then his whole leg got stuck in the hole. When the firefighters arrived, they first turned off the machine, then they gave the man some painkillers, and started clearing the dirt around his leg. They finally freed his leg, but they didn't expect it to be all tangled up in the machine. Even though he got the painkillers, the man still... His leg was pulled out, but that pair of jeans was no good anymore. After that, the firefighters fixed his injured leg and took him to the ambulance. Let's hope he never tries to save a few bucks like this again. Poor girl is pinned down by the speedboat, with the propeller buzzing just above her head, as the firefighters are preparing to secure the inflatable boat and rescue her. The boat suddenly starts to rock.
Hey, it's coming down! Get out of there!
It turns out the boat driver has woken up, drunk, he stumbles around the boat. Walking unsteadily, the firefighters quickly run over to steady the boat, then forcefully pull the woman out from under the pressure.
1, 2, 3, 4!
The boat suddenly tilts. The propeller shatters the wooden floor. The drunk driver now realizes he's caused trouble and is in a hurry to leave the scene. However, the paramedics won't let him go. The two of them start to struggle. Nearby firefighters rush over to help. The driver is pinned to the vehicle. The police arrive and handcuff him. They always say don't drink and drive. Looks like boating isn't any different.
The dude was trapped inside the car. The firefighters tried to pry open the vehicle, but their tool unexpectedly broke. It turned out this was an armored truck, carrying $3 million in cash. Halfway through, it had been hijacked by criminals. The driver, initially confident, had tried to push through, only to be shot in the head. Now the truck was overturned, and the dude was trapped inside. The firefighters wanted to rescue, but were at a loss, because the windshield of the armored truck was made in China. At that moment, one clever firefighter had an idea. Since the criminals fired shots, there had to be bullet holes in the truck. That might be a good point of entry. They started searching the vehicle, and finally found a hole in the glass. Then they began hammering away. After 12:34 hits, the glass only had a small crack. The captain pulled out the big hammer.
Clear out! All right, bring the hook!
Then they used hooks to pull the glass away. They rescued the man, but his pulse was weak. The medic had to perform emergency surgery on site, cutting his trachea to insert a tube for oxygen.
Come on, come on.
Come on, open your eyes for me. Come on. Come on. There you are. There you are. All right, that's okay. Try not to move. There's a tube in your throat that's breathing for you. Blink twice if you understand. Good job. There we go.
The doctor is holding buckets of snow, pours it on the patient. What is going on? Just a moment ago, a car crashed into the hospital. The doctor opened the trunk and found a man who was frozen like an ice sculpture. Even his clothes were frozen stiff, so they had to cut them open with scissors. The doctor immediately injected the man with medicine. Although the man started breathing again, he still didn't thaw out. Surgery had to be done right away, but because of the heavy snow, the head doctor was stuck outside. Even though this female doctor had never done surgery before, the head doctor trusted her skills and asked her to perform the operation. The female doctor had no choice but to do her best to save him. Half an hour later, the head doctor finally made it. But when he reached the operating room, he was told the surgery was already finished. The female doctor didn't disappoint and successfully operated on the patient. But just after leaving the operating room, the man's condition worsened. His temperature kept rising. To help cool him down, the doctors had to bring in snow from outside. The man's temperature dropped successfully, and he regained consciousness. Finally, he could hug his family again. Do you love your family? Thank you for watching till the end. Creating videos isn't easy. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to give us a super thanks. We'll work hard to bring you more interesting videos.